Thanks for joining us for another day of mobility. Start by finding yourself in a comfy spot on your mat or floor, lying on your back. And just take a few moments to allow yourself to be present. Just pay attention to the surroundings around you. The feeling of your mat against your body. The feeling of your breath entering your system and slowly leaving your system. Any background noise that might be going on. Just take a minute to let it all sink in. Letting go of anything else that's going on in your life. Just allowing yourself to fully be right here, right now. And let's shift our attention into your breath. We'll take a few breaths deep into that diaphragm. Feeling that belly rise in the inhale. Slowly letting it seep out on the exhale. And if possible, breathing through the nose with every breath. Mentally letting go of any stress or strenuous stuff going on in your life. Allowing your breath to calm your mind down. And imagine breathing out any tension as you exhale. Let's take one more breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll shift our attention into the left lower trap. So still flat on your back, grab that lacrosse ball and sit it underneath that left trap, anywhere above your shoulder blade. The traps actually run all the way down towards the middle of your back. So all that area is fair game. Just look for what's carrying tension, what needs your attention today. And once you've found that spot that's going to be your target for today, settle into the right amount of pressure. The base level is just lie on top of that ball. You can get some motion and roll back and forth or up and down on it. You can add a bit of pressure by lifting the hips off the ground. But if any of these types of changes add any kind of pain or displeasure to the movement, just scale back. Find the right level of pressure and tension that your body's okay with for today. Let's take one more good quality diaphragmatic breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath and we'll shift into the left tricep. So let's go face down with your arm in an overhead position and just place that tricep on top of the lacrosse ball and start by searching through that whole surface. Look for what needs attention. If there isn't anything in particular that feels like it needs it, just pick a spot. And once you've found your spot, experiment with how we're applying that tension, the angle of your arm, the level of pressure, whether we're rolling or whether we're lying statically. Whatever feels right for today, let that be your focus. And settle back to your breath. Doing your best to sync your breathing to that target area. As you let go of air, imagine letting go of tension through that tricep. Let's take one more good quality breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. And we'll shift into the left side subscap. So there's a few options to tackle your subscap area. Subscap sits on the anterior side of your shoulder blade. So it's really deep, tough to get to. We generally access that through the lateral portion of your armpit. And to get there, it takes quite a bit of pressure. So subscap may be in quotes. We may not actually get to it. We want to relieve that general area. You can apply this with your fingertips or your thumb or with your lacrosse ball. Just be sensitive to how your body's responding. We don't want any numbness or tingling. And if this is a new exercise for you, err on the side of going nice and easy. And each time we tackle this, just going a little bit more intense and always being sensitive to how your body's responding. Never getting into pain or significant discomfort. And let's circle back to your breath. If you're using the fingers, this can be active, but doing your best to remain as passive as possible in that target tissue. Let's take one more breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. We'll shift our attention to the right side. So moving back to those traps, we'll go face up on your lacrosse ball. If you found a good spot on the left side, feel free to start in that same area on the right. If you don't find the same tension there, feel free to keep searching. Look for what needs attention on this side, and then settle into the right amount of pressure and the right stimulus. You might be rolling on it. You might be totally static. Just feel out what feels right for today. It can be helpful to move your arm through an overhead range to help free yourself up in a position of restriction. These are all variables you can play with, and the only person that's going to know what works for you is you. So let this routine be a little experiment for you. Everyone's going to respond a little differently. Everyone's going to have different needs around these exercises. And you have to settle into what's going to work for you. Let's take one more breath while we're working on this trap. We'll slowly sigh out that breath and shift into the right tricep. We'll go face down on your lacrosse ball, searching through the back side of that upper arm in an overhead position. Feel out what needs attention. Feel out what the right stimulus is for today. Whether we're rolling or staying still on top of that ball, whether we're rolling with the fibers or against the fibers, up and down, side to side. There's benefits to all these options. Just play around with what feels right for today and what's helping that tissue settle down. And once we're there, settling back to your breath. As you exhale that air, imagine exhaling tension in that target area and remaining as passive as we can in any muscle we don't need right now. Relaxing through your face, your feet, maintaining that nice relaxing rhythm of your breath that helps you find calm. Let's take one more good quality diaphragmatic breath here. Take your time sighing out that breath, and we'll shift into the right side subscap. So again, this can be a fingertip or thumb work. It can be with a lacrosse ball. The idea is to work the outside portion of that right armpit and feel out what is the right amount of tension and pressure to apply today. We have a hard rule of not getting into pain, but we do want enough pressure that we're going to get a benefit. So So settle into that right happy medium amount of tension to help that tissue settle down. And your breath is a very powerful tool here. The more you concentrate on your breath, the more that helps your mind relax, which can allow that body to start to relax. And keep scanning through the body, through anything that is on right now that doesn't need to be. There are some muscles we need to work this exercise, and there's a lot that we don't. So just be aware of what's on that doesn't need to be. Just consciously hit that off switch to help all those tissues get as passive as possible. Let's take one more breath here. As you let go of that breath, we'll transition into a left side javelin stretch. So grab that PVC pipe, and we'll get into a hinge position with that pipe in an overhead stretch, letting that chest gently drop towards the floor to stretch that left arm. And as we're settling in, try to pay attention to which muscles are holding you back. There can be a whole different family of muscles holding you back depending on your own anatomy, your own activity history, your age, your stress levels. So just scan through your triceps, your biceps, your pecs, your lats, your traps, that mid-back, anything that's tense. Challenge yourself to get nice and passive. In a few seconds, we'll get active by gently pressing that pipe into the floor. And let's go ahead, starting with nice easy tension and pressure, attempting to reverse this stretch, holding the stretch, ramping up tension as we go. Big tension here for these last 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse. Squeeze through the back side of your arm to attempt to pull your chest closer to the floor, keeping your arm as straight as you can, ramping up that tension as we go. Big tension here to finish. 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax. Get nice and passive. Concentrate on your breath. Concentrating on relaxing through that arm, anything that's on or holding you back. Challenge yourself to get passive through that tissue. And allow yourself to find your pain-free end range. Let's take one more breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. We'll transition to the right side. So grabbing that pipe with your right arm in a hinge position, overhead stretch. Start by feeling out whatever feels tense. Whatever muscle feels like it's being pulled the most. Try to consciously relax it. Being conscious of how this is feeling. We never want to get into a level of pain or any feelings of instability. Just get as passive as you can. Concentrate on your breath. Use your breath to calm your mind. And use your mind to calm these overhead muscles. Then in 10 seconds, we'll gently get active by attempting to press that pipe down into the ground. And let's go ahead, starting with nice, easy tension. Gradually ramping that tension up as we go. And finishing with a big squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Let's gently reverse. Squeezing the back side of your shoulder, actively trying to pull yourself deeper into that stretch. Ramping up that tension as we go. Hard as we can for these last 5. Really squeezing. 3, 2, 1. Big breath out, relax. Start by scanning through those tissues. Anything that feels tense or on that doesn't need to be, let it go. Any muscle that feels like it's being stretched, consciously hit that off switch. Let it relax. Get nice and passive. Submit to the stretch. And one more breath here. We'll sigh out that breath. move ourselves back to the mat, shift our attention into the scalenes. So on the left lateral side of your neck, we're just going to work your fingertips or thumb through your neck muscles. And if this is a new exercise, again, being nice and easy. Err on the side of going easy. Paying attention to how your body's responding. There should be zero pain. Should be a nice, relaxing sensation. And using the fingers is obviously an active act, but doing your best to stay as passive as you can through as much of your body as possible. Maintaining that nice relaxing rhythm and depth of breath, directing that air deep into that diaphragm, slowly letting go of that air, and breathing through the nose as best we can. Let's take one more breath here. We'll slowly sigh out that breath. Transition into the right side. Start by panning through that outside scalene area. Might be scalenes, might be sternocleidomastoid. And if anatomy is not your jam, don't let the names or exact locations stress you out. Just feel out what needs attention on that outside of your neck. And settle into whatever level of pressure feels right for today. This is your routine. You can go as easy as you like or as intense as you like, as long as we're not getting into pain. Concentrating on getting as passive as you can. Allowing yourself to enjoy the moment. Just enjoying some me time. Breathing out any stress, any tension, and turning off any tense muscles as we let go of that air. Let's take one more good quality, deep diaphragmatic breath. We'll sigh with that breath. And we'll finish up with some neck circles. So let's just grab a seat. Start by bringing your chin right down to your chest. Slowly dragging your chin across your body towards your shoulder. Gently tilting your head back. Bringing it across your body again. Finishing at your opposite shoulder. And then dragging that chin back to center. And then switching directions. And keep moving at your own pace, working within your pain-free limits. As we work our way through this minute, give yourself a subtle challenge to get a little further into that end range, your pain-free end range. And let's finish off this last rep. And when you're there, you can sigh out that breath, and we'll call it a day. Thanks for joining us here with the 5-pillar method and our mobility routine for shoulders and neck. Hope your body feels great after this. Hope you're enjoying the program. If you are, feel free to like and subscribe and comment to give us feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.